What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I am Julie of Julie's Plans. In today's video, we are going to be going over two planners, the Plum Paper A5 Daily and the newly launched Erin Condren Daily Duo in the A5 size. All right, so if you were able to catch my Instagram live last Friday, then you know that I went over some of the products that I ordered from the recent Erin Condren Life Planner launch. They launched a whole bunch of new life planners, new themes, and one of the biggest items that is getting the biggest buzz is the A5 Daily Duo. So last year, Erin Condren launched the Daily Duo. I did use that for a couple of months. So it was really exciting to see that they listened to their customers when they asked for a smaller version. And I think we all kind of saw it coming over the last few months when they released different journals and notebook types of things in the A5 size. So when this launched last week, I knew immediately that I wanted to share a comparison between the Plum Paper Daily in A5 and the Erin Condren Daily Duo in A5. These planners honestly could not be more alike and different at the same time. Now, I also want to add that the purpose of this video is not to convince you as to which planner you need to buy. That will always be a personal decision, but it's kind of to help you see the features and the different things that come or don't come with these planners. I am going to be covering everything from cost, coil, customization, layout, add-ons or lack thereof, compatibility with different accessories, and of course a very extensive pen test along with a highlighter over pen test. So make sure you grab something to drink, whether it's water, tea, alcohol. I prefer coffee, but today I've got some water, and yeah, be prepared to hang out. I'm going to try to not make this video too long, but I also want to give you as much detail and as much information as possible. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera around and we're going to go ahead and get started. I have my A5 Plum Paper Daily that I've actually been using for quite some time. I was using the 7x9 for a little bit and just found that the A5 size works really well for me, which is why it was so exciting to see that EC was now offering it in the A5 as well. So let's go over some basics so that you can get all the information that you need. So let's talk about cost. With the Plum Paper, you can choose to get it in 6 months or in 12 months. My own personal recommendation is to not get the 12 months because it will be on one coil, and the coil is massive. For 6 months, it's going to cost you $29. Now that is a starting price, and I'll explain why in just a little bit. If you get the 12 months on one coil, it is $49 starting price. With the Daily Duo A5, it is $68. You get no choice. You are going to get the full year, and it is going to come in 2 books. Again, that is a starting price because we're going to talk about coil here in just a second. The starting price for the Plum Paper is because you can get additional add-ons, and of course, all of those things add up $1, $2 here and there. So that is something to consider. If you just need the daily pages and you just need 6 months, this is a great option because it's only going to cost you $29. With the EC, you don't have an option. You're going to have to get 2 books. That is something that I hope that they reconsider in the future because you may not need a daily for all seasons of life. Maybe you just need it for the first half of a school year or first half of an academic year. That type of thing. So it would be nice to offer the option of not having to get 2 books if you truly don't need them. Now let's talk about coils. So both of these planners come on a standard coil. My personal favorite type of binding here, I have platinum for both. In the Plum Paper, you only can choose platinum. The Daily Duo in the A5 size is also available in rose gold and in regular gold, but it will cost you an additional $10. So that is something to consider. The good thing here is that they're not going to charge you $10 per book. It is just $10, which is nice because really they could be jerks and charge you $10 per book. So it's kind of nice that they don't. So that's pretty cool. Next, let's talk about covers. So both of these planners come with interchangeable covers. There's a little bit of a caveat to that. With Plum Paper, you can choose to have your cover not removable or repositionable already, or you can put in the notes of your order that you want it to be repositionable and it will come snipped. So I have a order that recently came, and this is kind of what it looks like when it's snipped. There's just, it's just cut for you. It's definitely a different material. They are very durable, they're tear-proof, they're waterproof. Again, extremely durable. However, it comes with this additional clear protective cover that I'm not 100% a huge fan of. I feel like sometimes it gets in the way, and this actually scratches pretty bad, like just as bad as the EC covers themselves. So I'm not really sure why it's not offered just this way by itself, or just go ahead and laminate the cover, because I also find that these covers are a little bit more difficult to put on simply because it's a little bit of a thinner material, but again, super durable. With Plum paper, you can find a variety of covers for your A5 planner. Everything that they offer in all sizes for covers is available for the A5, which is really, really nice. Now, when I ordered the Daily Duo, I chose not to personalize anything. So the covers that I got are the mid-century circles. What is interesting to me when I looked on the site is that there isn't an option to order A5 covers at this time, unless you order something that is specifically already on a coil in A5, if that makes sense. However, with my order, I did get this little card that says, you know, welcome to the Daily Duo, the new Daily Duo. And you get this coupon for an additional cover, but I was like, there aren't any covers. So I can only assume that they are coming, which is great. Of course, as you know, or maybe you don't know if you're new to the planning community, the Erin Condren covers are also repositionable. They're very strong. They have very thick laminate. You can kind of see here the shine on it right there. In my opinion, they do scratch a little bit easily, but these are extremely durable, long-lasting covers. So this was a question that was asked in the Instagram question box that I put up a few days ago. Does the Erin Condren A5 Daily Duo cover fit the Plum paper? And it does. You will find that all of their 7x9 covers also fit. They use the same coil sizing. Both companies have really great strong coils. The difference here is that with Plum paper, their covers are meant to protect the tabs. As you can see right there, it pretty much swallows it. You can't see the tabs. The cover for the EC is always kind of meant to show off those colorful or even neutral tabs in the case of the Erin Condren one. All right, so let's talk about color options as far as the layout goes. So currently with Plum paper in their A5, it only comes in this one color option. Now you're only gonna see 6 months of the colors right now because I only order 6 months at a time, but they have said on their Instagram that they will be adding their new modern color scheme to be available in the A5 Daily. It will also be interesting to see if they are going to offer the neutral color, because again, neutral and modern are offered in every other size and every other layout except for the Daily. I have no idea why companies do this, but really limiting such a new and popular product I think is not the way to go. I know that it's the safe way to go to see if it's actually going to sell, but I think that without a doubt the A5 on a coil is extremely popular, so I don't know why you wouldn't offer more color schemes. And that goes the same for the Erin Condren one. It currently on a coil in A5 Daily Duo only comes in this mid-century circles theme right here, which is a beautiful theme. It's kind of like their signature color scheme or pattern, I should say. And you can get the Daily Duo on rings in Flora and Just My Type, but as far as on the coil, it is only in the mid-century circles, which was kind of disappointing because the Just My Type neutral is absolutely stunning in the Daily Duo. Again, with this product being new to Erin Condren, it will be interesting to see if they are going to offer more options. With both of these companies printing their own planners, I'm curious as to why they limit the layout and the color options when they print in-house. Both companies do. So again, very, very interesting. So let's talk about the customization of the covers. I know that I didn't get my name or anything on here for the Daily Duo, but you can get your name put on there, and fonts vary depending on the design of the cover. With Plum paper, they're a little bit more unique and customizable. You can pretty much choose where your customization is going to go. You can have it in the center, you can have a square, a circle, a rectangle, you can have a strip across the bottom, you can choose your color, your font, you can choose the year up here at the top. I tend to stick to pretty much the same thing with all of my covers because I'm just a creature of habit. This one I didn't even get customized, but you can pretty much choose whatever you want on your covers. Now, I didn't see a cover option that offers a photo option like EC does, but again, I also didn't see any other cover options in this size at this time. So definitely more goes towards the Plum paper covers simply because they are customizable, but personally, I prefer the durability of the EC covers and how easy they are to snap on and off. All right, so I'm gonna set one of these Daily Duos out of the way simply because it's kind of getting in my way, and kind of showing you the layout differences between both of these planners. So let's open them up. You get a cover page, of course. I talked about this in my Instagram live. I'm not really sure what the purpose of a vellum sheet on this planner is with nothing on it whatsoever. However, this gives you kind of an extra page to customize and decorate however you please. You can put stickers, vinyls, pictures, whatever you want. So they both have a title page. Try and show both of these. I think that this is going to be the best angle to show both. So in the A5 Daily Duo, you get this sort of 6 months like page that you can do kind of whatever you want to do with it, along with a 6 month at a glance. In the Plum paper, you get the whole year at a glance. But then when you turn to the back, you get the whole year moving forward at a glance. You get 2023. Now that could also be because this book is the one that starts in January. If you look at the one that starts in July, you do get the 2022. So you do get both years. And then that sort of page at a glance, you get that in the Plum paper. This one is labeled with months. You get the whole year. And then you also get a blank one as well to do whatever you want with. And then you just kind of have a blank page here. This one just starts right here. With January, the tab goes straight to the month in the Daily Duo, which is great. In the Plum paper, that is not the case. It goes to this dashboard page, which I believe a lot of people were very vocal about in the planner community when Erin Condren tried to do this. No one really liked it. In fact, Erin Condren even tried a very similar layout like this in their 2017-2018 planner that raised a whole lot of eyebrows because Plum paper was doing this quite some time before. This did not go over too well with a lot of people. Everyone kind of made it work, but they quickly changed that the following year. So in the Plum paper, the month tab does not turn to the months. You get this dashboard and a notes page, and then you go to the month. In the Daily Duo, you have your month page, and then you go to a line page and a dashboard page. Personally, I prefer this dashboard page. It's just a lot more user-friendly for me, and you get the month tab that turns directly to the month, so it's not so confusing. Typically, in my Plum paper, I will glue these two pages together because I find absolutely no use in this one. Plus, my biggest gripe with this is the material that is used on the divider. Great for this side right here, not so great for the side that you need to write on because you then need to use a completely different pen than what you would use on the paper because they are two completely different materials. This is more like a coated, almost like a coated cardstock, but not quite as thick as cardstock. Very durable. The tabs are laminated. Same with EC, tabs are laminated. But again, my biggest gripe is that this is a whole different, like you have to use a Sharpie pen to write on here, something permanent, because it just will not stay. It'll smear all over the place and it's going to be a hot mess. So while we're talking about notes pages, there was a big to-do about the notes page situation in the Daily Duo. So there was a little bit of a mix-up in the copies that were sent to affiliates and influencers, and there was excitement over the thought of that there might be a notes page after each Sunday in the daily, and that simply was not the case. It's also not the case for the Plum paper. You're not going to get a notes page at the end of each week. With both planners, you are going to get a notes page at the end of each month, depending on where the month lands. So let's go to the end of January, and you'll see that there is a notes page for each, and then because the month ends on the 31st, there's an extra notes page. Now, if we wanted to go ahead and go to March, let's see how that ends, and you can see I've done some pen testing already. Where this month ends gives you only one notes page, and the same goes for February. So it's going to vary depending on how the end of the month where it ends. So you do get notes pages with both. They're just kind of spread throughout the planner. Now, to caveat off of that again, with Plum paper, you can add additional notes pages. I have an additional 40 notes pages in here. I have notes and graph. I like to have dot grid and graph added to the back of my planner. It turns out I really didn't need quite as many pages, but I do like the ability to add my notes pages as I want to. You can also choose on Plum paper to add them throughout your planner. I'm not a particular fan of the dispersed placement of the notes pages because it's kind of placed, I believe, at the end of the month. It's in a really weird spot. I tried it once. I was not a fan of it. So I just get it tabbed at the back of my planner. And there are so many additional add-ons that you can get with Plum paper, like meal planning, budget planning, wellness, notes, graph, lists, to do things, home, social media. It's almost limitless. Okay, it's not totally limitless, but what's really cool about the Plum paper website is that it will kind of give you a page count, like counter on the website that will show you how many more pages you can add to your coil. Obviously, at one point, you do reach the maximum amount of pages you can add. All right, so as far as the month view goes, they are both very, very similar. They are month on 2 pages, both with Sunday start. I will say this, the boxes in the Plum paper are taller. You can kind of see just from this layout that it kind of goes farther up to the top, whereas the Daily Duo is a little bit more scrunched down. Their boxes are actually very square, and the ones in the Plum paper are just a little bit taller. You also get a month view going forward in the Plum paper. You do not get that in the Daily Duo, but you do have space for notes on both of them. All right, now let's talk about the actual layout of both of these pages. And I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit closer so that you can get a better idea of what I'm talking about with each of these planners. So as you can see in the Plum paper, they love to use shading. There's a color for the month and it is on every single page. Just shading, shading, and shading, like so much shading in this planner. In my personal opinion, I am not a fan of the shading. I use primarily pen in my planner, but I don't like the amount of color on these pages. I really wish that they would just get rid of the shading here, and I would be all set. You do have the month, the day of the week, and the date of the month. Now, it's kind of broken up into a lot of different sections. However, you can use them however you want. I chose to get this planner completely uncustomized. When you go on the Plum paper website, and I'll kind of insert a little screenshot here, you can actually go in and label each and every one of these sections in your planner or leave them completely blank. It is up to you. I have commitment issues, so, I chose not to do it. I like to kind of hop around in here and change things as I feel they need to be changed with whatever season of life I am in. So you have an area on the right for your to-dos. You have like a top 3 or focus type of section or whatever you want to use it for. You have another section that has kind of a dashed line on it. I hope that you guys can see that. It's got a little bit of a dotted line here, and then it goes into a solid line, and that is just for that section. Then you have a section down here that doesn't have any of the dashes, none of the bullets, all of that stuff. You can use it however you want. And then you have a lined section across the bottom. I typically use this section for notes, reflection, all types of random things like that. Then you have a shaded area over here to also use for whatever. I mainly see it used for gratitude, but again, I would prefer that it not be shaded at all. Now for the Daily Duo, it is exactly the same as the 7x9 Daily Duo. Same for the Plum paper. The 7x9 is set up the same way. This is a new size for Erin Condren, but it's no different than the larger version. The left side has your times over here to include half-hour blocks. It's kind of nice that you don't have to write down any times. You don't have your month written on every single page like you do in the Plum paper. I mean, it is literally written on every single page, but you do have the day of the week and the number of the month, I should say. However, they feel the need to put a monthly view on every single page. I am not sure of the purpose of that. I would have loved it if they did it like every other page or every third day of the week. It is just completely unnecessary, in my opinion, to have a monthly view every single day. But again, that's what stickers are for, right? You can just totally cover it up or use some whiteout on it, all that stuff. You have a to-do list over here, and then they were smart and left it completely blank down here. You do have the little EC asterisk right there. Super cute, same as the one from last year. Now, what I did go ahead and do for a few days in here, and let me find the pages, was I planned in both of these planners pretty much exactly the same to show you guys that you can pretty much do the same thing in each one. You really can make each one work for you however you see fit. And I found that even after using this particular layout from Plum Paper for a year now, that there really wasn't any difficulty with transitioning the information from this format to the Daily Duo format. And I really truly believe that if you're wanting to try either one of these planners, you're not gonna have any issues either. One of the things about this layout that I truly hope that they reconsider is taking out the month view. That's really my biggest gripe with this particular layout from Daily Duo. The month view is completely unnecessary. Give more list options up above. Do something else except the month view. For the Plum Paper, I say get rid of the shading and please, dear God, get rid of the color peach. That's all. I'm really not asking for all that much. But again, what I really wanted to show you guys, again, to kind of go back to what I said in my intro, these planners are so different and yet so the same. They are really, really unique. So let's talk about the paper, because I feel like the thing that makes these two brands stand apart from one another truly is the paper. So both brands actually use Mohawk paper, which I thought was very, very interesting. I honestly did not know that Plum Paper used Mohawk paper. I guess I just never looked. But we all know that Erin Condren uses 80-pound Mohawk paper. Of course, they all have their own formulas of paper with Mohawk. Even Emily Lay uses Mohawk paper. They all have their own different, almost paper recipe, if you will. With the Plum Paper, you're going to find this paper to be super smooth to the touch. There is no texture to it whatsoever, in my opinion. A lot of people have described it as buttery smooth. I maybe have a different opinion of what buttery smooth means. This is smooth, not buttery smooth. I think that there's a difference and it's important to know that. With the Erin Condren paper, you can literally feel the texture and the tooth on the paper. It's not extremely textured, but it's that paper that will literally soak up your ink in an instant, which makes it super pen friendly. And like I said in my introduction, I am definitely going to include a pen test for you guys. But before I do that, let's talk about some extras that come with this planner or don't come with the planner. So one of the things that I found interesting is that neither of these planners come with a ruler. I find it more so interesting for the Erin Condren simply because the Daily Duo in the 7x9 comes with not one, but two rulers. And for some reason, the A5 doesn't come with one at all. However, you can just go ahead and use their little snap-in bookmarks. That's totally fine. Again, that's going to be an additional cost to you. With the Plum Paper, it also does not come with a bookmark. You can order one of their bookmarks and they have kind of like a universal one that works with all of their sizes. The Erin Condren bookmark, in my opinion, I guess works with a planner as kind of a personal, I don't know, opinion. Does it snap on the planner? Absolutely. But it sticks out at the bottom. That's the situation there. You can adjust it and move it up if you want to, but then you're going to have like the teeth of the planner sticking out. I just found it interesting that they didn't have a bookmark for this planner when the other one does come with two bookmarks. For the price point, throw in some bookmarks. As far as the back of the planner goes, both planners do come with folders. The Daily Duo this year also now comes with an additional sticker sheet. You do not get stickers with the Plum Paper. It also comes with stickers that are coiled onto the back of the planner as well. Another thing that you can add on to the Plum Paper planner in any size, this amazing vinyl like folder situation. It's great for putting stickers, documents, note cards, all kinds of things in there, and they're really going to stay in there. This is a really like durable folder option if it's something that you are interested. I believe it's like $2 to add this on, and pretty much every time I order a planner, I get this in here because it's really, really fun to have in here. And you can fit, like I said, lots of things in there, and they're gonna stay nice and protected. Whereas over here, you're gonna have kind of things sticking out at the top, but you know, it's neither here nor there. It comes down to preference. I like that both folders have front and back folders for each one, so that is nice. You get basically 2 folders and not just one. You do also get the perpetual calendar with the daily duo. I believe it's in the other book, but you do get the perpetual calendar with the daily duo. I personally have never used one. I think it's cool that it comes with one. I know some people might use it. I don't. Maybe I should. I don't know. But that is something that does come with the Daily Duo. So one of the things that you asked over on Instagram was to see the cover compatibility options for this size of coil. And one of the great things and fun things about this size is that there are already cover options out on the market for you. A lot of them are marketed towards half-letter discs, but this is essentially the same size as half-letter discs because of the coil. So it's kind of cool that these options are available. Someone did ask to see if the Louis Vuitton half-letter cover would fit. Sadly, it does not fit. It's just not going to work for this size of coil in the planner. And I do want to show you guys, the cover obviously slides right in. And maybe it'll fit the Daily Duo. It fits the Daily Duo a little bit better than the Plum paper, but it could also be because my Plum paper has like 40 extra notes pages to it. I think that that's okay. I'm not so sure if I want to wrap an EC in Louis Vuitton, but maybe you want to. I think that's interesting because the Plum paper certainly does not fit, or at least it didn't fit the last time I tried it in here because I think the tabs stick out a little bit more and the cover makes it a little bit more awkward. Yeah, that's not gonna work at all. But one of the cover options that does work is the cloth and paper half letter cover. It is a little bit bigger in size. The Louis Vuitton is a little bit slimmer in profile. And I actually really like the way that looks. That like pop of color with the black is really, really nice. And it has a nice snap closure there. You see your tabs will be protected. I'm so glad that you guys asked these questions. These are important planner questions. So this does fit in there nicely. You're gonna have like your pockets to put any extra things in there, which is awesome. I'm not gonna go into like the full specs of the cloth and paper cover because I've done that before. Let me show you guys what the Plum paper looks like. And of course, because the profile of this cover is bigger, it works with the Plum paper as well. So you can see there your tabs are protected. It looks really, really nice in that black cover. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if this is something that I would do with mine if I took my planner out a little bit more, maybe if I wanted to keep it a little bit more protected. So if that's something that you're looking for, definitely check out Plum paper for their covers. All right, now it is time for this pen test. And oh my goodness, I grabbed a whole lot of pens. This is gonna take a minute. But I wanted to give you guys as much pen options to view in both of these planners and see where the issues are. Because to be quite honest, the Plum paper is a little bit temperamental, not just with pens, but also with stickers. I have had issues where I've put a sticker down, I've gone to move it, it's a repositionable sticker, and it will take the paper right up. Is that always the case? Not necessarily. The EC Daily Duo paper, or just the EC paper in general, is definitely more sticker and pen friendly, but there are definitely pens that also work in the Plum paper. I did go ahead and grab some of the most used pens that I have seen out there, and we're just gonna go ahead and get started. I might talk you guys through this a little bit just so that you guys can get an idea of what I am seeing when I'm writing with these pens. All right, so first up is going to be the Papermate Flare. Now this is a pen that with the Plum paper needs drying time. It will smudge right away. If you let it dry, it's not so bad, but I know a lot of people don't have time to let pens dry. And there you go with the EC. No smudging. Now I've got to try and keep these pens organized. I have a Le Pen in both blue and black. I don't know why I did that, but let's just go ahead and go with the black. Smudge. You're gonna see that a lot, unfortunately. No smudge. All right. Moving on, Sharpie pen. Now this one actually works really, really well in the Plum paper. It is definitely one of my favorites to use, but it's smudged at the very, very end. So it takes like a second longer to dry. And of course on the EC paper, I'm sure that we are not going to have any issues at all. All right. The Sharpie S Gel. This is a favorite of mine as well, which is having some issues starting. I don't know what that's all about. I've had a lot of issues with the Sharpie S Gel lately, and I don't know what it is. No smudging there at all with the Plum paper, and I'm sure that we are not going to have any smudging over here with the EC. Next up is one of my favorites to use in Plum paper, and it is the Pentel Energel In Free. This is one that I recently found through a friend of mine over on Instagram, and it's pretty dang awesome. I think it was Katie. Yeah, no smudging whatsoever. So this one is a winner in the Plum paper. Finally, we found 1.5 pens that work. And I'm trying to write fast so that this doesn't take an hour. No smudge. Another favorite of mine in the Plum paper is the Sarasa Dry. No smudging at all. Very nice. Good. All right, let's go next with the OG favorite, the Pilot G2.7. I'm actually not a fan of the Pilot G2 in black whatsoever. I think the ink is just weird. That's really no good in the Plum paper. And of course it works perfectly in the Daily Duo. Next up is the Uniball Signo, another one of my favorites. I can't even remember if I have ever tried this in the Plum paper. There's a smudge. A little bit, not a whole lot. No smudge. All right, Inkjoy Gel. I haven't used one of these in a really long time, but this is also one of my favorite pens. And just for reference, most of these pens are 0.7 in tip, with the exception of the Sarasa Dry, which is 0.5. I just don't have that one in a 0.7. Just a tiny, tiny smudge at the very end there. And no smudge. Not shocked. The Tool Pen is a pen that I have been loving recently in my Plum paper. I don't have a whole lot of smudging issues, but I love how pigmented this ink is with the Tool Pen. No smudge. And of course, there's not going to be any smudge with the Daily Duo. I also love the Bic Intensity. I don't remember if I have tried it in the Plum paper, but it's kind of like one of those pens that I liked on the EC paper and not, oh no, that's no good. I liked it years ago in the EC paper, but not so much in the Plum paper. And last but certainly not least, I have a Micron in the 03. Oh, this one's kind of dried out, so it's probably not, oh, okay, well, even with being dried out, it's smudged. And let's try this. Ugh, man, my Microns have been sitting in a drawer for far too long. All right, another thing that I wanted to try out was a few markers that are frequently used in both of these planners. I could go over the markers, but I feel like that's more of a test of the pen / combination of paper. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, none of these are, oh, okay, that one, no, that's a no. Let's see. Most of these are doing pretty well with the highlighter situation going over them, and I don't think that you're gonna have any issues over here on the Daily Duo paper. None at all. I think that's just so weird that the Uniball Signo and the mild liner don't get along. Let's see if there's any bleeding or shadowing. No bleeding or shadowing. Very nice. And of course there is, I write really hard so you can see the indentation, but there's no bleeding or shadowing there either. One of the newer markers that has come out recently in the last year is this Sharpie S Note. Not very friendly in a lot of planners, so I thought it would be great to see how it would work in both of these. And we're gonna do a little smudge test here too. No smudging, obviously no smudging. Now let's see if there's any bleed through. I think that there's going to be some shadowing, maybe a little bit of ghosting there. You can definitely see it. That could get obnoxious over time. And then let's see, just a little bit of shadowing. I kind of went over that spot twice there, so not too bad. All right, the other marker that I wanted to try was a Tombow Mono drawing pen or brush tip pen. However, ooh, there's smudging. It's all over my hands. No, I don't like that. Any smudging here? None. Let's see if there is any shadowing or bleed through. No shadowing, no bleed through. Definitely some smudge. Not a huge fan of that. And of course, there is no shadowing or bleed through with the Tombow. It does look like it left a little bit, like it's wet almost. So maybe when it dries, there won't be quite as much of an issue there. I don't know. And of course, I wanted to try one of the Zig Clean Color dot markers. I use this pretty much every single day in my Plum paper daily. I love this marker. I have not had any issues, so I already know that there's not going to be any issues. There's no smudging, none of that stuff. It's really, really great. And I have no doubt that it's going to be like exactly the same for the Daily Duo. And I was pressing pretty hard, so that's pretty good. All right, one last thing I wanted to try was whiteout, because these papers are definitely two different colors. While they are both from Mohawk, they're obviously both different formulas of paper. And one of the things that I noticed recently was someone trying out whiteout and it not exactly matching the paper, and that could be an issue or bothersome to some people. So my favorite whiteout, or my whiteout of choice, is the Tombow Mono two-way correction tape that I'm gonna drop. I love this one because it is retractable, great for putting in your bag. You don't have to worry about having a cap, all that fun stuff. So this is how it looks. Let me point it in the right direction. On the Plum paper. And then this is how it looks on the EC paper. Not an exact match to either one, but also not horrible. I think that covers just about everything with these two planners as far as ink and markers and all of that fun stuff. I don't have fountain pens or use fountain pens, so that is not available for this pen test. If there are other pens that you would like me to try, let me know down in the comments and I will try them out and respond back to you if I have those pens. One other question that was asked that I thought was interesting was the coil size. Now, I don't really feel like I have a fair comparison for you guys for the coil size, simply because I have add-ons on this book, and this is strictly just your daily pages with obviously nothing else to add on, because you can't add anything with the Erin Condren Daily Duo. It's not an option for them. The only other option that I can think of is if you are willing to recoil and add in pages as they come up with more layouts, do things like that, and have to put the coil back on yourself. So the coils, this is how the Plum paper looks with 40 additional pages. That should tell you everything about the paper difference, is that both have great paper, obviously different textures, different compatibilities with stickers and washi and all of that fun stuff. But you can see the actual thickness of the EC that has, this doesn't have 40 additional notes pages. And they're pretty much very close to being the same. I think I covered just about everything. Let me know if I didn't, and if you have any additional questions, just let me know down below in the comments. All right, I know that I covered a lot with both of these planners, and hopefully it helps you make a decision if you're in the market for a daily A5 planner on a coil. I know that there was a lot to cover with all of these, and there are definitely some pros and cons with either one that you choose. So may the odds be ever in your favor with whatever you decide. As for me, I know without a doubt that the A5 daily that I will be choosing is the So that's what I'm deciding to go with. I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to choose for your A5 daily. I I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for sticking around for an extra long video this time around. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're already subscribed, make sure that you click that red notification bell so that you know when my videos are posted here on YouTube. As always, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone. Oh my God, that was so much talking. I don't know how people pick what planner they're going to use. This is like Hunger Games for planners. Why is this so hard? I wish there was alcohol in this cup.